the fact that he's going away is sad for the sport, because he's a guy that transcends this thing, right? He's just not an MMA fighter anymore. He's a celebrity, a worldwide phenom that people want to see for years to come. And unfortunately, like John said at the desk, he goes, we always say, take advantage and appreciate these guys while they're here, because at some point they're going to be gone, and then you're left wanting more. Right. And I mean, I think him leaving us wanting more is the best way.
Khabib Nurmagomedov is widely considered one of the best mixed martial artists of all time. Over the course of his career with the UFC, he managed to win not just championships, but also the hearts of MMA fans and analysts worldwide with his technical prowess, his unbeatability, his personality, and his sportsmanship. In 2020, after a victory against Justin Gaethje, Khabib shocked the international combat sport community by announcing his retirement from his fighting career. He was young, still in his prime, at the peak of his career, and just shy of his goal of a 30-0 record. It seemed inconceivable that someone like him would retire so abruptly. In a sport where fighters often retire temporarily, only to return if the right amount of money is floated, pundits began to wonder if Khabib's retirement was really legit and permanent. But Khabib's retirement isn't just a stunt. It has some powerful feelings behind it, and understanding those reasons means understanding the heart of a legend. Like, share, and subscribe to the Ultimate Fighting Network as we discuss the real reason Khabib Nurmagomedov retired at the peak of his UFC career. Khabib comes from the small mountain village of Sildi in a Russian republic called Dagestan. Much has been said about the fighters who come from this area of the world, and without going into too much history, the Dagestanis have an ancient and storied culture, among the many facets of which is a tradition of honorable warriors. Children are taught from a very young age how to freestyle wrestle, and many go on to wrestle competitively. Footage of Khabib wrestling bears as a child are often floated as evidence of his badassery, but this unusual training tactic is not unique to Khabib. Dagestani children learn these skills early, and many wrestle bears as part of this lesson. Dagestan is also a primarily Muslim region, a faith to which Khabib strongly adheres. His discipline, modesty, respect for opponents as well as family, and strong moral code are all wrapped up in his Muslim faith. These things are important to know about Khabib because they form the bedrock of his decision-making along the entirety of his MMA career. His skill and talent were drummed into him from childhood, and his adherence to his religious beliefs brings with it a code of honor and respect that he might not otherwise have. All of these facets could be summarized in the close relationship that Khabib had with his father, Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov.
What's your message for your young fans out there who look up to you so much?
Young fans, respect your parents, be your parents very close. This is very important. Parents, everything, you know, your mother, your father, and that's it. And everything in your life is gonna be good.
Abdulmanap was a veteran of the Soviet Army and a successful athlete in his own right, learning judo and sambo in the military, and going on to become one of Russia's top wrestling coaches. His influence and tutelage had a strong effect on his son, and without it, Khabib might not have ever seen the success he saw. Yet Abdulmanap's presence in Khabib's life certainly was the thread that kept Khabib grounded despite the fame and wealth of his time in the UFC. Thanks for watching this far. Please help support us by liking this video and subscribing to our channel. We appreciate you. One of the most remarkable things about Khabib's remarkable career was his unbeaten record. MMA is a sport that doesn't often see unbeaten records. It's too unpredictable, too quick and vicious. But Khabib Nurmagomedov quickly grew as an MMA celebrity when the community took note that he could not be beaten. With each new opponent, pundits wondered if he'd finally met his match. He never did. Khabib's goal, famously, was to reach 30-0 before he retired from the sport, which would place him well above the nearest undefeated fighters of all time and make him, in his words, the Floyd Mayweather of MMA. In 2020, as a match with Justin Gaethje loomed, the rumors started to circulate that 30th shot at a victory could be against MMA legend Georges St. Pierre, a fight that made fans worldwide salivate with expectation. What started as just fantasy started to take shape when St. Pierre seemed to confirm that he would definitely consider coming out of his retirement to fight Khabib. Everything seemed on the up and up, and the rumor mill did not quiet down. The COVID-19 pandemic of 2020 claimed many victims all over the world and left a lot of stories tragically unfinished. Among them was the life of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, Khabib's beloved father. The legendary coach contracted the illness and quickly developed pneumonia as a fatal complication, passing away unexpectedly in July 2020. The shockwave from his death rippled through the community and had an unspeakable effect on the course of Khabib's life as well as his career goals. The Justin Gaethje fight would be his first without his father in the corner with him as a support and guide. No one could truly know the weight he carried into the cage that night. Khabib went on to win that fight handily, and while he stood in the octagon for his post-fight interview, he spoke with emotion and shocked the crowd with an announcement. This was to be his final fight. The reaction from the audience was shock and sorrow, but it was not completely surprising. It emerged that Khabib's mother had asked him to stop fighting, and out of respect for her, he agreed. A fool might question why a warrior like Khabib would give up his dream at the request of his family, but that's because a fool doesn't understand such a code of respect. Khabib's entire life had been steeped in honor, from the fighting style he'd learned as a child to the foundational faith he practiced throughout his life. So when his mother asked him to stop fighting, his relationship with her meant more to him than success or fame or anything the UFC could provide. To honor the memory of his father and the care of his mother, Khabib announced to the world that he was retiring at 29-0, leaving the question of whether he could have beaten that 30th opponent unanswered.
You know, for those who maybe didn't hear the announcement in October, what ultimately for you led to this decision? You looked better than ever, 29-0, and you retire.
You know, it's very hard when you have power, when you're best in the world, when you're famous, when you have money, and say to everything like these things no. This is very hard. Like, people maybe never gonna understand me, but I really hope they're gonna support my decision, because like everybody have their views, you know, and my view and my relationship with mother, like I feel I have to stop.
Character and personality make up a huge portion of combat sports. Skill is important, certainly, but the way a fighter conducts themselves matters almost as much, if not more. A fighter can have a varying record, but if they're loved enough by fans and pundits, they can continue to build a long and legendary career. Khabib Nurmagomedov is one of the few fighters who had it all: skill, savagery, but also sincerity. And for that, he was, and continues to be, beloved. Khabib decided to walk away because his respect for his family would not allow him to continue. And maybe there's something to be learned from that for anyone who admires him. The life and career of Khabib Nurmagomedov is a testament to the importance of having something you value more than success, money, or anything so impermanent. That's the foundation of character, and that's why Khabib will go down in history as a legend of MMA. What do you think about Khabib's decision to retire? Comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching the Ultimate Fighting Network.